Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving right into the incredible benefits and impacts of food. But we aren't just talking about how food fuels you, we're looking at how it fuels the trillions of microorganisms living inside you. Think of the food you eat as the raw material your gut microbiome uses to literally manufacture better health. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the gut microbiome factory, move on to fiber and polyphenol superfuels, look at some real diets and real results, and wrap up with how to actually feed your microbes. Okay, part one, the gut microbiome factory. Because as we know, digestion is way more than just a simple mechanical process. It's literally a microscopic biological manufacturing plant operating inside all of us 24/7. So, what actually happens when you eat a walnut? It sounds like a simple question, right? But the biochemical reality of what happens the second that walnut hits your digestive system is incredibly complex and fascinating. You aren't just breaking it down for calories, you are actually delivering a highly complex shipment of raw biological materials straight to the factory floor. Think of it as the hero's journey of your food. When dietary interventions, things like herbs, nuts, and berries, enter your gut microbial community, they undergo a massive transformation. The microbes convert them into these incredibly powerful metabolites, and those metabolites then go to work lowering inflammatory cytokines, reducing cardiovascular risk, and actively fighting disease and aging. This right here is the true core impact of food. But there's a pretty dangerous contrast to keep in mind here, depending on what you eat. In a high-fiber gut, you've got a factory full of happy, thriving workers. But what happens when your diet is chronically low in fiber? Well, those starving microbes don't just quietly die off. No, they actually shift their behavior and start eating your own protective mucus lining. This seriously weakens your gut barrier, allowing endotoxins and pathogens to leak straight into your system and trigger widespread inflammation. Which brings us perfectly to part two, fiber and polyphenol superfuels. Now that we know the incredibly high stakes for keeping our gut barrier intact, let's explore the specific raw materials our microbial workers desperately need to thrive and protect us. A lot of people think fiber just, passes right through you. But the reality is it's being actively manufactured into short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These tiny organic acids are absolutely crucial. Think of them as the master control switches for your overall health. They regulate your metabolism, they keep your immune system in check, and they literally provide the energy supply for your intestinal cells. The top three manufactured goods in this category are acetate, propionate, and butyrate. Butyrate is especially wild because it provides a staggering 70% of the energy required by your colonic epithelium. And it's all manufactured by essential microbial workers like Faecalibacterium and Roseburia to deliver some seriously powerful anti-inflammatory benefits straight to your body. It's amazing to see how this plays out, usually in a three-step process. Take complex plant polyphenols, the antioxidant compounds found in plants. On their own, many of them actually have very low bioavailability. They literally require our microbial workers to step in and unlock their health benefits by transforming them into active, bioavailable metabolites. A perfect example of this is urolithin A. It's a powerful compound that enhances cellular health and reduces systemic inflammation, and it's manufactured by our gut microbes right from the ellagic acid found in foods like walnuts and berries. So let's move on to part three, real diets, real results. Because it's one thing to talk about microscopic biochemistry in a lab, and a totally different thing to see how this food impacts actual patients in the real world. Now, you might be thinking you need to do some massive, super restrictive dietary overhaul to see any of these benefits. But research shows it only takes a surprisingly small amount of fuel, specifically just 6 grams, to drastically change your factory's output. That's right, just 6 grams of common herbs and spices were shown to significantly alter the microbiota and lower 24-hour blood pressure in individuals at risk for cardiovascular disease. We're talking about sprinkling everyday ingredients like cinnamon, black pepper, ginger, coriander, and parsley into your meals. That tiny addition causes measurable shifts in microbial composition and actually lowers your blood pressure. And the evidence just keeps getting better. Take the Be Gone trial, for example. High-risk patients didn't change their whole diet. They simply added 1 cup of beans to the regular meals. That supplied 16 grams of fiber, and it sparked a massive bloom of beneficial microbes like Faecalibacterium. It also significantly increased potent anti-inflammatory metabolites like piperacolic acid. It just goes to show that targeted, simple food additions can dramatically upgrade your factory's output. We see a similar story with the MAPLE trial data, which focused on the elderly. As we age, our gut lining naturally weakens and becomes more permeable, or leaky. But when participants substituted in high polyphenol foods like berries and dark chocolate, they saw 4 major benefits. They had higher SCFA producers, modulated inflammatory cytokines, lower blood pressure, and crucially, a significant drop in zonulin, which is a key marker of intestinal permeability. Basically, the right polyphenol superfuels successfully strengthened their gut barrier. We've seen how food acts as the ultimate fuel for the gut factory to fight disease, lower blood pressure, and heal a leaky gut. But this brings up a huge question. Can the right microbiome-targeted diet actually turn back the clock on ourselves? Can diet reverse your biological age? Check out this astonishing number from the Direct Plus trial. Participants saw a favorable reduction in their biological methylation age by approximately 9 months. I mean, that is huge. This isn't just about feeling a little younger or having more energy. This is a measurable reversal at the DNA level, directly linked to how they modulated their microbiome. So, how did they do it? This age reduction was achieved by harnessing the immense synergistic power of what's called a green Mediterranean diet. It involves calorie restriction and low red or processed meat, but the real magic is in the specific additions. 28 grams of daily walnuts, 3 to 4 cups of green tea, and a daily Mankai aquatic plant shake. By adopting this protocol, participants enriched beneficial microbes, drastically increased their circulating levels of that anti-aging urolithin A we talked about earlier, and drove a loss of visceral fat, actively attenuating their biological age. All right, let's bring it all home with part 4, feeding your microbes. We've seen the incredible science, so now let's build this into actionable steps you can actually take today to optimize your own internal factory. The main takeaway here is that you have options. Whether you start small with accessible interventions, like just sprinkling some extra spices on your dinner, adding a daily handful of walnuts, or tossing a cup of beans into your lunch, or you decide to go all in and adopt a comprehensive, polyphenol-rich green Mediterranean protocol. Whatever level you choose, you are actively preserving your microbial diversity and boosting your health. Even simple food reformulation, like choosing a fiber-enriched sourdough, shows real metabolic benefits. You don't have to be perfect from day one. Ultimately, this demands a complete shift in perspective. Think of your meals not just as food for you, but as the raw materials for trillions of microscopic workers that manufacture your health. You are essentially the CEO of a vast, microscopic manufacturing plant. Every bite of fiber and every polyphenol-rich berry you eat is a strategic investment in your microbial workforce. They do the heavy lifting of fighting inflammation and protecting your heart, but they absolutely depend on you for the raw materials. So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought for your next meal. Are you eating just to feed yourself? Or are you fueling the trillions of microbial workers keeping your factory running? Are you providing the fiber and polyphenol superfuels your workers need to protect your health? Or are you leaving them starved? The choice of what you put on your plate has literally never been more powerful.